Hello, my darlings. This is Mrs. Welch from the Cavendish Fletcher Community Library. And today I have a book for you called The Ninth Night of Hanukkah. Now, Hanukkah goes 8 days. It's a celebration of lights that takes place in December. And this is about a family celebrating in a new place. On the first night of Hanukkah, Mom couldn't find the menorah. Special delivery, said Dad, arriving with pizza. Max and Rachel looked at each other. No menorahs? No latkes? It's just for tonight, said Mom. I'm sure we'll find our Hanukkah things tomorrow. Exhausted from unpacking, the family sat down to dinner in their new apartment. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the second night, the missing menorah still hadn't turned up. Should we go to the store? Asked Max. No, we'll find it soon, said Rachel. Besides, I have an idea for tonight. Rachel made a beautiful menorah. Max helped her decorate it. But when it came time to light the candles, Mom realized she had packed the candles with the menorah. Now, should we go to the store? Asked Max. Mom checked her watch and shook her head. Everything's probably closed by now. Max and Rachel convinced Mom to let them ask one neighbor. They knocked on 2C right next door and explained the situation to Mrs. Mendez. Would these work? She asked. Maybe, said Rachel. Dad lit the shamash. Max and Rachel each used it to light a candle. Then Max and Rachel both got presents. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the third night, Dad offered to make latkes. He just needed to find his lucky latke pan. As Dad searched through box after box, Max followed his nose downstairs to 1B, where he met Joe the super. Welcome to the building, said Joe. Do you need anything? Let me know. Anything? Asked Max. Eyeing the steaming platter Joe happily shared. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. I don't know if you can tell in that picture, that's French fries. And latkes are also made of fried potatoes, so they're similar. On the fourth night, Max said, let's play dreidel. One problem. Guess what? No dreidel. I'm beginning to think one of our boxes got lost, Dad said. So Mom called the moving company, and Max and Rachel set out to find a dreidel. The Watson twins, who lived upstairs in 3B, didn't have one, but they did have a toy that could spin and spin. Now, a dreidel is a little top, my darlings, that you spin, and it's got different things written on the sides. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the fifth night, Max and Rachel figured out a way to play dreidel, which means they needed gelt. Now, gelt is coins made of chocolate covered with foil, so it looks kind of like gold coins. No chocolate coins, but I do have these, said Mr. Patel in 4A, and they're chocolate chips. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the sixth night, Rachel wanted to have a Hanukkah sing-along, but Mom's guitar hadn't arrived yet. Gigi's got one, shouted the Watson twins, running up to 5C. It turns out they were almost right. Mom taught Gigi the chords to Rock of Ages, and everyone sang. You could see it's a ukulele. It was nice, but it didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the seventh night, Max and Rachel discovered they were missing something else. How do you wrap a present without wrapping paper? On the way outside, they saw Dr. Lee reading in the lobby. When they asked him where to find wrapping paper, he handed them the comics. Use these, suggested Dr. Lee, so they did. It was nice, but it still didn't feel quite like Hanukkah. On the eighth night, Max realized what their Hanukkah needed: jelly donuts. It took knocking on several doors, but finally Max got his jelly from the twins' mom in 3B. But not in donut form. That was nice, said Rachel as they walked downstairs. Max took a big bite and finished her thought. But it still doesn't feel quite like Hanukkah. See if you can see in the picture, they're eating jelly sandwiches. On the next morning, there was a knock on the door. Special delivery. Only this time it wasn't Dad or pizza. It wasn't the long lost box. Let's have a Hanukkah sing-along tonight, suggested Mom. Last night was the 8th night, Rachel reminded. It won't be Hanukkah anymore. Maybe it should be, said Max, pointing. 9 candles, 9 nights. Rachel's eyes lit up. She whispered to Max. Max whispered back, and together they developed a plan. With a box of candles and a box of crayons, they set it in motion. That evening, Max and Rachel waited and waited. Maybe this isn't going to work, said Max. It'll work, said Rachel, standing more confident than she felt. Just then there was a knock on the door, and another, and another. Max and Rachel thanked them all for coming. Then they explained the reason for their Shamash night celebration. For 8 nights of Hanukkah, the Shamash helps light all the other candles, said Max. Like all of you helped us, added Rachel. So we wanted to say thanks to the Shamash and to you. Just then, a voice called out from the back of the line of guests. Special delivery. The missing box, said Mom. Now that's what I call a miracle, said Dad. In the box, Max and Rachel found their family menorah, Hanukkah candles, Dad's Lucky Latke pan, dreidels, gelt, wrapping paper, and Aunt Edith's recipe for jelly donuts. So on the 9th night in their new home, Max and Rachel and their new friends talked and laughed, ate and played games, sang and danced by the light of many candles. It was nice, really, really nice. And best of all, it felt exactly like Hanukkah. And this has been Mrs. Welch for the Cavendish Fletcher Community Library. Happy Hanukkah, and we'll see you soon.